Today I want to walk you through what I call the marketing reality check. The 7 most overrated marketing strategies that businesses waste time and money on. And more importantly, what you should be doing instead. If you've ever felt frustrated after pouring resources into marketing tactics that experts swore would work, only to see mediocre results, this video is specifically for you. I've spent the last 4 days going through real-world studies on some of the most popular businesses you know, including Wendy's, Gymshark, Airbnb, and discovered some lesser-known things they did to be successful. And I must say, some of the things they did completely contradict internet advice that you have heard already. By the end of this video, you'll have clarity on where to stop wasting resources and where to redirect them for genuine business growth. So let's jump right in and bust some marketing myths. Overrated strategy number 1, social media omnipresence. Every marketing conference, every guru, every blog tells you the same thing. You need to be on every platform: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, Pinterest, Snapchat. The list grows every year, and it quickly feels like trying to eat soup with a fork. You're busy, but you're not getting anywhere. The conventional wisdom says spread yourself everywhere because that's how you maximize reach. CMOs are terrified of missing the next big platform, so they divert resources to maintain presence everywhere. But here is what nobody talks about. Most companies are terrible at most platforms. They create mediocre content across 8 channels instead of exceptional content on 2. Look at the data. The average engagement rate across industries on social media is dismal. Less than 1% on Facebook, 1 to 3% on Instagram, and even lower on Twitter. Yet we keep pouring resources into this approach. What actually works? Platform intentionality. The companies seeing remarkable results aren't everywhere. They are somewhere specific with purpose. Take Wendy's. They didn't try to be everything on every platform. They committed to Twitter with a distinctive voice that perfectly matched the platform's culture. Their engagement metrics didn't just beat other fast food chains. They beat most entertainment brands. Why? Because they understood that authenticity on one platform beats mediocre on 8 platforms every time. The effective alternative isn't about being everywhere. It's about being somewhere with purpose and authenticity. Choose the platform where your specific audience actually engages, where your brand voice naturally fits, and where you can maintain consistent quality. 2 platforms done exceptionally will deliver more results than 8 platforms done adequately. Overrated strategy number 2, influencer marketing at scale. Influencer marketing has exploded into a $16 billion industry. The playbook is familiar. Find people with large followings, pay them to promote your product, and watch the sales roll in. Marketing departments are now dedicating significant portions of their budgets to influencer campaigns, often working with dozens or even hundreds of influencers simultaneously. And it quickly becomes like throwing spaghetti at every wall, while paying each wall $5,000 to be there. Lots of mess, little stick, and expensive walls. But the emperor has no clothes. Studies show that 70% of influencer campaigns fail to deliver measurable ROI. Why? Because we've confused reach with relevance. Having 1 million followers doesn't mean having 1 million potential customers. The metrics that matter, conversion rates, reveal that most influencer marketing is just expensive noise. And consumers are getting savvier. They can spot inauthentic endorsements instantly. What actually works? Depth over breadth. The brands seeing genuine results have shifted from influencer quantity to relationship quality. Look at how Gymshark built their brand. Rather than casting a wide net with celebrity endorsements, they identified a small group of fitness enthusiasts who genuinely loved their products. They didn't just pay them for posts. They built real relationships, brought them into product development, and created a community. These weren't just promoters, they were true brand partners. The effective alternative is to work with fewer influencers who have genuine connection to your brand and authentic resonance with your exact target audience. Focus on long-term relationships rather than one-off promotions. The ROI comes not from rich metrics, but from the authenticity that converts followers to customers. Overrated strategy number 3, data-driven marketing without direction. Data-driven marketing has become the rallying cry of the modern marketer. We've built vast tech stacks that track every click, scroll, and interaction. The average enterprise now uses 91 marketing tools and platforms. We are drowning in dashboards, metrics, and KPIs. And now it's like using a GPS with no destination. Congrats, you're lost, but with beautiful charts. The promise is that with enough data, we can optimize our way to marketing perfection. But here's the painful truth. Most companies are data-rich and insight-poor. They collect mountains of information without knowing what questions they're trying to answer. They track vanity metrics that look impressive in reports but don't connect to business outcomes. A 2022 study showed that 67% of marketing leaders feel overwhelmed by their marketing data and 61% don't trust it to make major decisions. What actually works? Purpose-driven analytics. The companies experiencing breakthrough results aren't necessarily the ones with the most data. They're the ones who know exactly why they are collecting it. Look at how Airbnb approaches data. They don't measure everything. They focus fanatically on metrics that directly connect to their core business questions. They build hypothesis-driven experiments rather than aimlessly A/B testing everything. Their famous one metric that matters approach means everyone in the organization knows exactly what needle they're trying to move. The effective alternative is to start with clear business questions, then determine what data you need, not the reverse. Limit your analysis to metrics that directly influence decisions. Build a culture where data serves strategy rather than substituting for it. 5 carefully chosen insights that drive action are more valuable than 50 data points that create a lot of confusion. Overrated strategy number 4, content marketing volume. Content is king has evolved from insight to dogma. Marketing departments have transformed into publishing houses, churning out blog posts, videos, podcasts, and white papers at an industrial pace. And now, it's like yelling facts into the void. Technically productive, emotionally exhausting. The strategy seems logical. More content means more SEO juice, more touchpoints, more chances to engage. Content calendars are packed with daily outputs across multiple channels. Yet the results tell a different story. Content marketing effectiveness has been steadily declining as volume has increased. The average blog post gets 4 shares and 0 backlinks. Nearly 70% of the content produced by B2B marketers goes completely unconsumed. We are creating more and achieving less because we've mistaken quantity for quality. What actually works? Content with conviction. The brands cutting through the noise aren't publishing more, they are publishing with purpose. Look at how Patagonia approaches content. They don't publish daily blog posts about product features. They create powerful, meaningful content around environmental issues that matter deeply to their audience and their brand. Their documentary Public Trust wasn't designed to sell fleece jackets. It was created to advance causes their customers care about. And paradoxically, this builds more loyalty than direct product content ever could. The effective alternative is to dramatically reduce content volume while increasing content significance. Create fewer pieces that take stronger positions, demonstrate deeper expertise, or provide more comprehensive value. One exceptional quarterly research report will generate more results than 60 mediocre blog posts. Content should be driven by purpose, not by calendar slots that need filling. Overrated strategy number 5, short-term campaign thinking. The marketing industry is structurally biased towards campaigns. Agencies pitch campaigns. Awards celebrate campaigns. Careers are built on successful, campaigns. We've built a system that values short-term initiatives with clear beginnings and ends, measurable in neat quarterly packages. And these short-term campaigns have become like lighting fireworks in your living room. Looks cool for 5 seconds, then it's chaos. This campaign obsession creates a fundamental disconnect with how brand equity and customer relationships actually develop. The data is clear. Short-term marketing activations deliver diminishing returns, while long-term brand building shows compounding value. Yet McKinsey research shows that 77% of marketing budgets are allocated to activities that will deliver results within the current quarter. What actually works? Perpetual presence. The brands achieving sustainable growth aren't thinking in campaigns, they are building systems. Look at how Lego transformed their marketing approach. They shifted from campaign to campaign thinking to building an ongoing ecosystem that includes consistent product excellence, community engagement, content creation, and educational initiatives. They didn't just promote the Lego movie, they built a multi-year strategy where each element reinforced their core brand purpose. The effective alternative is to reorganize marketing around enduring brand platforms rather than temporary campaigns. Build consistent, cumulative initiatives that create more value over time, not less. This doesn't mean abandoning short-term activations entirely. It means ensuring that they serve a coherent long-term strategy rather than existing in isolation. Each of these overrated strategies shares a common flaw. They prioritize marketing tactics over human connection. They focus on what's expedient rather than what's meaningful. The alternatives I've outlined aren't just more effective, they are more fulfilling for both the marketer and the customer. Because when marketing creates real value rather than just the appearance of activity, everybody wins. And the most successful brands understand something crucial. Marketing isn't something you do to people, it's something you do for people. When we approach marketing as a service rather than a system of manipulation, we not only get better results, we create better business. And that's not all. Overrated strategy number 6, celebrity endorsements over brand authenticity. For decades, the formula seemed straightforward. Attach a famous face to your product and watch awareness skyrocket. Companies spend millions securing celebrities with massive reach, counting on their star power to translate into customer action. But they later realize that it's like hiring a magician to run your bakery, exciting but nobody trusts the croissants. The Super Bowl showcases this approach every year. A-list celebrities promoting everything from cryptocurrencies to potato chips. But the effectiveness of this approach has been steadily declining. Today's consumers are increasingly immune to celebrity influence when it feels disconnected from authentic brand values. Research shows that 63% of consumers trust influencers more than celebrities because they perceive them as more authentic and relatable. More critically, celebrity endorsements often create awareness without creating conviction. People remember the celebrity but not what they were promoting. What actually works? Value alignment, partnerships. The brands seeing real impact aren't just buying famous faces. They are forming partnerships with individuals who genuinely embody their values. Look at how Rihanna built Fenty Beauty. Rather than simply licensing her name or making a token appearance in ads, she created a brand that authentically addressed her own frustrations with the beauty industry's lack of inclusivity. The result wasn't just another celebrity product line, it was a cultural shift that forced the entire industry to expand their shade ranges. The effective alternative is to focus on authentic connections between your brand values and the people who represent them. This might mean working with less famous individuals who genuinely embody what you stand for, rather than celebrities with larger reach but looser connections. When alignment exists, the partnership creates credibility that generic star power simply cannot match. Overrated strategy number 7, innovation without customer understanding. Disrupt or be disrupted has become the rallying cry of modern marketing. Companies race to implement emerging technologies, AI, VR, blockchain, NFTs, often before understanding how these innovations actually serve their customers. And it's funny because it's like building a spaceship for fish. Impressive, but literally useless. Marketing departments feel pressured to appear cutting edge, adopting new platforms and technologies to demonstrate their innovative spirit. But innovation without purpose often leads to expensive distractions. Studies show that 70 to 80% of digital transformation initiatives fail to deliver expected value. Companies chase technological novelty while neglecting fundamental customer needs. Remember when every brand rushed to create their own apps, only to find most customers had no reason to use them? Or the QR code revolution that initially failed because it solved a problem consumers didn't actually have. What actually works? Customer-backed innovation. The companies creating meaningful breakthrough start with deep customer understanding, not technological capability. Look at how Domino's approached digital transformation. They didn't implement technology for technology's sake. They obsessively focused on removing friction from the ordering process. Their tracker app, voice ordering and delivery innovations all addressed specific customer pain points rather than showcasing technological prowess. The effective alternative is to rigorously qualify every innovation through the lens of the customer value. Start with the customer problems worth solving rather than technologies worth implementing. The questions shouldn't be how can we use AI, but rather what customer problem could AI uniquely solve. This approach leads to innovations that customers actually adopt because they address genuine needs rather than organizational vanity. Both of these strategies reflect a common theme. Effective marketing requires looking beyond industry conventions to focus on genuine human connection and value creation. The most successful marketers aren't necessarily those with the biggest budgets or the flashiest tactics. They're the ones who truly understand and serve their customers. So there you have it, the 7 most overrated marketing strategies and what actually works instead. Focus on revenue metrics, not vanity metrics. Master 1 to 2 channels rather than being mediocre everywhere. Implement strategic content aligned to buyer's journey, not content for content's sake. Combine organic with paid for maximum impact. Obsess over customer insight, not marketing tactics. Focus on authentic connection between your brand values and the people who represent them. Innovations must be customer-led. What all these effective approaches have in common is they prioritize substance over style, strategy over tactics, and most importantly, they focus on what actually drives business results rather than what feels good in the moment. If you found this helpful, my next video dives deeper into how people actually find new businesses. I mentioned in Principle 1, the one approach that can transform all your marketing efforts. I will link it somewhere in this video. Remember, The most effective marketing isn't about following trends. It's about truly understanding your customer and connecting them with the value you provide in the most direct way possible.